The doorbell rang like a frantic pulse through the elegant corridors of the vast mansion. Beyond the door stood a woman, her weary eyes holding the burden of countless unspoken sorrows, cradling a young girl who gripped her like a fragile petal. In a tempest, her garments were tattered, her sweater marked with small tears, and her expression carried the exhaustion of someone who had journeyed too far, not just across distances, but through struggles, remorse, and sleepless nights. She didn't plead for coins. She didn't seek refuge. With a voice delicate as fractured glass, she merely whispered, "May I tidy your home for a meal?" Inside, the man who answered, a prominent figure among the city's elite, gazed at her and paused. His hand slipped from the doorknob. His breath faltered. This wasn't a stranger, this was her, the woman he had once let down. If you cherish compassion, fresh starts, and the strength of humanity to rise from the deepest lows, please like this video, share your reflections in the comments, pass it on to someone craving hope, and subscribe to Kindness Tales Stories. These tales are more than amusement. They're beacons of the kindness this world still craves. Her name was Clara. Years back, she brimmed with joy, aspirations, and a naive trust that life would align perfectly. But she learned the harsh truth. Kindness doesn't always reap rewards. Wed young to a man who vowed wonders but left wounds, she was soon alone with a toddler and a medical debt she couldn't settle. One by one, her anchors slipped away. Her work, her home, her friends who faded when aid became habit. In time, she rested on a chapel pew, her daughter nestled close, murmuring bedtime stories to the breeze to silence the hunger in her child's belly. Each day, Clara wandered affluent streets, hoping for a morsel, a warm coat, or a fleeting act of mercy. Most doors stayed shut. Some offered courteous denials, others never opened. But today felt distinct. Something, perhaps desperation, instinct or fate, drew her to this house. A residence so flawless, so unattainable, that stepping onto its stone walkway felt like invading another realm. Yet hunger knows no limits. She knocked. Ethan Caldwell had just returned from a boardroom triumph, sealing a $20 million deal. The press dubbed him a genius. Peers called him relentless. But beneath the tailored suits and towering skyscrapers, he was a man who seldom reflected until that knock stirred something long buried. Seeing Clara there, his eyes widened. Time collapsed. His thoughts unraveled. Years ago, before wealth and acquisitions, before polished floors and public acclaim, he had known her. She was the girl who stood behind him at a college food drive, quietly buying her ramen while counting every penny. She was the girl who smiled at him on rainy library afternoons, when they were both poor but filled with dreams. They were never close, but her warmth, her grace, her ability to make even quiet moments feel comforting left an imprint. And one evening, he had seen her being berated by her partner outside a cafe. He could have stepped in. He should have, but he turned away. That regret had long been locked behind walls of success, until now he welcomed them inside. The grand entrance, gleaming and silent, now echoed with the cautious steps of a woman out of place in such splendor. Clara tried to justify her presence, apologizing as if her need was a burden. But Ethan was elsewhere, torn between past and present, guilt and responsibility. He offered food, setting it gently before the child first, then watched as Clara, eyes glistening, paused before eating. Pride and pain are curious partners. As hours passed, Ethan heard pieces of her journey, the abusive marriage, the shelter lost when funds vanished, nights spent in bus stations and back alleys. Yet she never cursed the world. She simply said, "It's what life brought." Her strength spoke louder than any sorrow. The next morning, Ethan did something unexpected. He cancelled his schedule. He prepared a guest room, quietly placing fresh clothes, a toothbrush, and a note that read, "Stay as long as you wish." Clara wept softly as she read it. holding her daughter tighter. It wasn't just shelter or food. It was recognition. It was respect. But the world doesn't transform instantly. Trust needed rebuilding. Clara grappled with the shame of accepting aid, fearing it came with strings. Ethan wrestled with a different guilt, that he had soared, while others like Clara fell unseen. Gradually, they spoke more. Clara began assisting around the house, not from duty but from purpose. She tidied, organized, prepared simple dishes. Her daughter began to smile again, giggling in the garden, playing melodies on the piano in the corridor. For the first time in years, joy returned to her voice. One evening, Ethan returned from a charity event and found Clara by the window, sketching a small garden layout. She had once studied architecture before her life unraveled. He urged her to draw again. She hesitated, but soon her designs graced his office walls. His clients took notice. One, a prominent hotel chain owner, inquired about the creator of the layout. Ethan pointed to Clara. That single connection led to a freelance project. That project grew into 3 more. Within a year, Clara ran her own small design consultancy from a laptop Ethan gifted her on her birthday. But the most poignant moment came on a chilly December morning. Clara approached Ethan with an envelope. She had saved enough for a modest apartment. "You've given more than I can ever repay," she murmured. Ethan held the envelope but didn't open it. Instead, he led her and her daughter to the front of the house, where a new sign read, "Caldwell Foundation for Women and Children." It was Clara's vision. A shelter, a support network, a place where no mother would trade dignity for food. As the sun rose, the little girl tugged Ethan's sleeve and asked, "Are you our family now?" Ethan knelt, holding back tears. "I already am. If this story stirred your heart, if it reminded you of the beauty of second chances, of hidden pain, of how one kind act can transform everything, please like this video, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to Kindness Tales Stories. We're not just sharing tales, we're reminding the world that compassion endures. Special request. Before you leave, drop a comment below, a heart emoji, a few words, whatever you feel. Your comment might be the spark someone needs today.